Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stardom Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over that way. I never know which way to point. It's the Taco Princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I am doing great, Andre. I just had a fun afternoon with my bestie. My best friend came over. She's like, I have errands to run. You're coming with me. And I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have ran those errands because you didn't watch one of the matches we're about to talk about, girl.
Hey,
Jeez.
you know what? It is what it is. My mental health is more important, and I needed to get out with my girl. So we
I,
did
I,
that. And we
I
went to
know.
two Walmarts. Two
Why two?
Walmarts. It was
Why
an
two?
adventure.
Why two?
We had to find a very specific Barbie because my friend is a Barbie herself. So we were looking for a Barbie. Hey,
I
you know
can't.
what? They even have Barbie shoes. And you know who got herself a pair of Barbie shoes? They don't have a Barbie logo on it, but they're from the Barbie movie. This girl. They're cute.
Uh, all I'll say is everybody that's a Barbie this year was a Wednesday last year.
I'm a Wednesday all year. How are you doing, my friend?
I am getting a little bit sick. I'll admit that. Like, you might hear me, I might be muting myself every now and again. The cough, to have to blow my nose, things like that. Because I'm not. It's the day before my birthday, and I'm getting sick, and I don't like this.
You know what would cure that real quick, my
Actually,
friend?
as this show comes out, it's my birthday. So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday! You know what
Mm-mm-mm.
might help you out right now is a shot of vodka.
After the show, it just might pass out, and then I wake up at 3:15 in the morning to watch some New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
With vodka.
maybe, but vodka puts me to sleep.
This is why we take the vodka after this, and you can go to sleep, wake up refreshed for 3 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever time we are getting up.
3:15 a.m. because it starts at 3:30.
Sounds like a
uh,
plan.
but we are here to talk some Stardom today. But before we get
Mhm.
into it, I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, all the great support you've given us. I want to thank all of you with just it's been overwhelming. Just the people that have reached out. Thank you so much. Uh, everybody commenting, everybody uh, putting just all the support, the likes, the subscribes. I never thought we'd get to this point. Like even where we're at, 120
Mhm.
subscribes. It's 118 more than I thought because I knew I would subscribe and I knew you would subscribe, Mel. That's all I figured would subscribe to our channel.
Thank you, guys.
So yeah, please, if you can, like the videos, subscribe down below, and then comment because we want to hear from you. We love the comments we get. The great response we have has been amazing, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can alert every time we drop a starting review, a NJPW review, and a Chop Talk, and then anything else we decide to drop down.
Ding dong.
Hello, shout out to Bailey.
Yes.
But before we get into this, we got a comment on the last video for nights 2 and 3 from Bobby Batito 2242,
Bye.
asking which female wrestlers from Canada would you guys like to see wrestle at Stardom and wrestle against Julia for the NJPW Strong Championship. I dropped my comment, but I'm going to say it here. I said, damn, there's a few. I said Nicole Matthews. She's probably my go-to anytime everybody talks about a Canadian professional wrestler going and doing something.
Mhm.
I love me some Nicole Matthews. I also said Zoe Sager because I think this girl has, much as I boo her at every single show, because she's a pretty incredible heel. I think she would do phenomenal things getting the exposure to work with some of those women. So those are my two right off my head. Melball, what are you thinking?
I mean, entering Zoe would be very, very good. She doesn't need to translate a lot to the Japanese audience, so that would definitely be very beneficial for her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely on the Gigi Ray train after seeing Zoe and Gigi at Love Pro Wrestling last month. Jody Threat. Jody Threat would be another fun one to kind of throw into that mix with her kind of like wild child, feral kind of work style. Ooh, she would have some fun with some of those girls.
Yeah. And Bobby did respond to me after I dropped. I also said Taylor Rising and Kat Von Hees, which is surprising you didn't
Ooh,
say.
yeah. Yes.
That's your girl. He said Gigi Ray, Ava Lawless, Casey Spinelli, Alexa,
Ooh.
who I'm a huge fan of. She's absolutely fun. Lufisto, Bambi Hall, which you are going to see the face to face of Stardom wrestler, and Liza Hall, the Rain City Stretcher. I know this Bobby Petito is obviously a big Canadian independent wrestling fan because you listen to all those people. I know you love some Canadian independent wrestling. So I want to give Bobby a
Yeah.
big shout out for that question. And I really did appreciate that question because it's like it made me think like who do I really want to see? And my brain didn't even go to Gigi or Ava for some weird ass reason. It went to Zoe for some weird reason. I as much as I rag on her on the shows, I love Zoe. I think she's an absolutely incredible professional wrestler. So But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Bobby, for that comment. We are going to get into the show. We're going to talk some Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix nights 4 and 5 from August 5th and August 6th. We are going to start it out with night number 4. And I'm going to get work. The undercard, we're just going to drop some the results and move on. I have the wrong set of notes open as usual because I'm bad at this. I'm not good at my job. Yeah.
Got some Chris Charlton level lyrical genius there.
You know it. Saya Ida versus Hanako. Torture rack by Hanako in the run and then gets a running boot for 2. Ida slips another torture rack into a near naked choke, but it's slammed in the corner. Ida catches Hanako running and hits a second with a shoulder block and hits a second rope shoulder block for 2. The big vertical suplex by Hanako because gotta remember, Ida's a tiny little girl and getting lifted that high is crazy, but she can only get 2. And then Ida applies a modified Dragon Sleeper and she gets a submission victory. Really dominant finish for Saya Ida here.
Little muscle mommy there at Stardom. I love her new hairstyle. The picture is not up to date, but she does have that nice kind of almost natural chocolate brown kind of hair with like the kind of green kind of ombre out at the tips. I really, really like that new look on her. Wondering when she's going to drop some new gear. She's kind of had the same gear for a hot minute while a bunch of her other stablemates have kind of cycled between a couple different styles, especially Hanan.
Yeah, I can see her busting something out in the next couple of months, maybe post G1, going into maybe a tag league or something where she's going to be really highlighted. Because I guarantee she's going to be on the tag league in the tag team. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the second match of the evening. It is a 6-ladies tag match. It is Queen's Quest Hina, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki taking on Oedo Ties, Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Arena. Tora takes out Lady C and Miyu with the double clothesline. Rina throws Hina into a roundhouse kick by Momo Watanabe, and Rina hits her sister with what she calls the pink little heart symbol, devil. That pink devil with a little heart symbol in the middle, which is the gory special for the win. Good little match. Fun little 6-man, man.
I'm really liking how they're mixing up the teams again, and we're seeing this combination of different members of Queen's Quest and a couple different members of Oedo Tai. I like it. It's a little bit of a shakeup.
Yeah, me too. Me too, and I love the run that Rena's going on. She's getting a lot of wins and a lot of matches, and I really do like that.
As she should, as the future of Stardom champion.
Yep. We move on. It's another 6-woman tag match. It stars Hanan, Hazuki, and Mayu. Wait, Iwatani. Yeah, I have that right. Versus God's Eyes, Ami Sourei, Saki Kashima, and Suri. Saki and Ami take out Mayu, but and Hazuki, but Hanan gets a roll up on Suri for 2, but then Suri hits the roundhouse kick for 2, then gets the ground Suzaku, which is the hammerlock armbar combo, and Hanan is just screaming bloody murder in this whole, like she is legit screaming until she eventually does tap out because she cannot get to the ropes. And then I found the ref had a little fan. It was like fanning the girls after the match. It was really funny.
Yeah, this was the auditorium, I believe, that they said that there was no air conditioning in it. So at this point in time, that would be very hot. Very hot for those ladies in there.
Middle of summer. I know, shout out to WH Park from Post Wrestling. He always talked about being a sumo hall and it just being blisteringly hot in that venue. So there's a bunch of different venues in Japan that are very old that do not have adequate air conditioning. And I do know that. So,
yowza. Interesting seeing Saki with her new stablemates. It just like it's just very strange.
It's weird. It is a little bit weird.
Like, especially even seeing them on social media too, seeing them doing their little workout videos together, where Saki is essentially being like, I'm not going to say forced, but like she's really being coerced forcefully into all the training. The poor girl, she's stiff, she's sore, but hey, she's learning. That's good.
She is learning. She is learning. And again, I really think she needs to update the gear.
I agree. Which Powerpuff Girl is she going to emulate?
The purple one.
That would make sense.
She's the other Powerpuff Girl. We move on to the undercard main event. It's Megan Bayne and May Sarah versus Donna Del Mundo's Julia and Tekla versus Rose Gold's Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. The end of the match comes with a triangle choke by Thekla to Bayne, but Bayne lifts her up, sits her on the top rope. Thekla fights her off. She goes for the high cross, is caught, and she gets F5 the shit out of her. And Bayne gets the pin on Thekla for the win.
I mean, the height difference alone, I can only imagine. Thekla gives some of the Japanese women a run for their height money. Yowza.
Yeah. Bayne's been very impressive. I'll say Bayne has been insanely impressive when she gets in there. It does her power spots. Like, I am very much getting excited for August 13th. For her versus Tam Nakano. I think that's going to be a really interesting match.
Interesting that the tag champions weren't involved in the decision, either falling or gaining.
I'm okay with that because if Bayne had pinned one of them, I would have lined her and Sarah up for a tag shot.
Yeah, so, we can't have her pin Julia either.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying Thekla taking the pin made sense for me in this. If you haven't Bayne and Sarah win. Yeah. So.
Also, besides Julia, I believe Mariah and Mina are also the only other ones in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Julia, Mariah, and Mina are the three over there that are in the Grand Prix.
So that makes sense. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep. We are going to move on to my written notes because I watched these at work. It's Mirai versus Azumi. So let's see if I can read my writing. That is the real test here. Really good chain wrestling. Oh, sorry. Good chain wrestling to start. Mirai keeping Azumi slowed down early, but Azumi does eventually take over and gets that high speed style going. She's really hitting really moving really quickly. Mirai pushes Azumi over the top. Puts Azumi on the top, but she gets drop kicks her, gets arm dragged off the top, and then Azumi gets the Rings of Saturn until Mirai does get to the ropes. They fight up top. Azumi gets knocks Mirai down into the Tree of Woe and gets the Tree of Woe stomps, but she goes back up, but misses the double stomp off the top and gets dropped by Mirai with a big shoulder block. Top rope drop kick by Mirai, and then she gets I play New Japan Strong Spirits, and I learned one of the names of Mirai's moves. That wheelbarrow into the half Nelson Slam is called the SS Columbia with Michelle, and she gets that for 2.
Oh,
yeah, the SS Columbia with Michelle. That is the entirety of the name, according to Strong Spirits.
Interesting. Okay, that's some Zack Sabre Jr. level effery with the names there. Okay, cool. I can dig it.
I very much like it. Leg trap German by Azumi, but Mirai gets the backdrop suplex and both are down. Roll ups by Azumi, and she gets the Azumi sushi, gets a 2, but Mirai gets that inside out clothesline, just knocking the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Mirai turns a submission attempt by Azumi into a pin, then into the seatbelt pin. She gets the Samoan drop, but Azumi reverses the Miramare shock into a double arm bar. but Mirai gets to the ropes. Inside out lariat by Mirai, but Azumi gets a surprise roll up when Mirai goes to pick her up. Uppercuts by Mirai, hits the Miramare shock, and followed by the jumping lariat for the win.
She needed this win.
Very much.
She really needed this win. A couple fairly high-profile losses over the last couple shows here. She really needed to kind of come back from that, especially having just won that Wonder of Stardom championship. It's almost like she's having, like, I hate to say it, but like a CM Punk world champion run with it, which is no bueno. We want to avoid that.
Yeah, that first world title run for Punk, yeah.
Yeah, where it's just kind of going under the radar. We don't want that for the Cinderella tournament winner here. Yeah, Mirai, as you mentioned, not typically a high-speed wrestler. She did her best to kind of keep up with Azumi, but it was really apparent she can't get to that speed level that Azumi can. Very few can. But Azumi also adapting quite well to Mirai's kind of power kind of usage. She was able to kind of duck a lot of stuff, trying to trip her up quite a bit. She worked those submissions really, really well, trying to take away that arm power of Mirai, targeting the arms, I feel, quite a bit throughout this match. There was a back body drop that Mirai did on Azumi that I thought was just so good, just so picture perfect. Yeah, again, really working those shoulders with Mirai. And again, yeah, really, Mirai really did need this win. I'm really happy that she picked it up. I'm disappointed that, Azumi didn't pick it up. Obviously, one of my personal favorites. But I just think in regards for power and all of that, Mirai was the clear winner in this one.
Yeah, very much. Again, I thought really great match between the two of them. Like, as I said, and Mirai, yes, you're right, really did need a stamp, a victory that she can really get behind now and maybe go run here.
Yes.
Yeah. We move on to the Red Stars division. It's Starlight Kid versus Suzuki. Starlight Kid hits a drop kick into the corner, and then she gets the wrecking ball drop kick, sending Suzu out to the floor. She hits a dive off the top to the floor. She slams Suzuki her knee into the mat. Starlight Kid tries to use a chair, but the ref stops it and gets shoved, and Suzuki ends up hitting Starlight Kid with the chair. Back in the ring, Suzu gets the standing moonsault for 2. Starlight Kid comes back with a springboard cross and her own standing moonsault for 2. Starlight Kid traps the legs, but Suzu does in a submission hold, kind of very Cody Rhodes-esque, if for all you American listeners. But Suzu does eventually get to the ropes. But this is where Starlight Kid gets out of the hole, gets herself out of the hole, and just stomps on the knee, like just vicious, man. It's pretty damn vicious. Did I just write strike butt? Oh, strikes at the center. But Suzuki gets a spear. I might have elaborated. I need to get better at printing at least, because Jesus Christ. Drop kick. This is my print. This is my crappy printing. That's the problem. Drop kick to the knee by Starlight Kid and the dragon screw into the stretch muffler. But Suzu gets the ropes. Twisting frog splash off the top by Starlight Kid, but only gets 2. Then gets reversed, and Suzu hits the high ankle German. Cradle half Nelson slam by Suzu for 2, and then they trade roll-ups. Cross leg fisherman driver. Man, I'm bad already. Cross leg fisherman driver by Starlight Kid, and a drop kick into the ropes. But Suzu goes to the top, and she goes to the top. Starlight Kid tries to come up, but she stops the Spanish Fly. Tries to get a German off the top. That looked like, I'm like, God damn, this is going to be insane if she hits this. But she gets knocked off, but Suzu comes back. But she gets knocked off, and Starlight Kid goes for the moonsault, but Suzuki gets the knees up. Tequila shot for 2 by Suzuki. Starlight Kid grabs the leg, but Suzu kicks, and then she goes up, gets cut off, but she does end up hitting the avalanche half Nelson for 2, then gets the rolling chaos theory for the win.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I didn't take a ton of notes on this one just because I was enjoying it. I really, really enjoyed this match. Suzu, one of my personal favorites. Um, Starlight Kid, another one of my favorites, especially with the high speed division there. Starlight Kid really targeting the knee in this one for Suzu, really trying to take away that movement and power for her because those are the two things that Suzu really, really utilizes the most when she wrestles. When she hit the stretch muffler on Suzu, I was really freaked out. I was like, oh, fudge, here we go. We're going to have another loss with Suzu, which I did not want. I did not feel that the last one was really one that she kind of earned. I didn't want this one to be another one. What was that top rope thing that she did on Starlight Kid before the
Oh,
finish?
it was like a half Nelson slam. She does the half Nelson, like she picks her up and then just drives her down.
Yeah. Why do I think that looks like a Uranagi?
It's very similar because you start like this with the half Nelson, but you come off and you spin them out, and they're to the side of you when you're slamming them down. So
Yeah.
but it's the arm hooking the arm as you're slamming them down. So
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
very
Because I just
very.
put a top rope Uranagi because I didn't know what that was.
It was very similar, very similar moves
Yeah.
in that sense. Yeah,
This was so much fun. I really liked this match.
yeah,
Good for Suzu.
I think they did a great job, like the two of them together. Like just they seem to have a great chemistry there, and it really worked. And now I want to see Starlight Kid in a death match with Suzuki. No, I don't want to see that. Fuck no.
No,
No death matches for me. I'm
don't
joking.
encourage that.
I am joking here. And to the main event of August 5th / night number 4. Say Ariana versus Micah. Anu kicks away the handshake like a kind of a see you next Tuesday. So Micah ends up hitting a drop, and she drop kicks Anu into the corner. Then she ends up, and then Anu rolls to the floor. So Micah hits a lariat off the apron to the floor, and then she throws Anu into the chairs. They roll, then they go. She rolls her back in. They both roll through the ring to the other side, and this is where Anu runs Micah into the chairs twice. I'm just like, what the hell? Back in the ring, Anu gets the last chancery, and then that like down axe kick, similar to what Tam Nakano does for 2. She gets the Anu gets the inverted triangle, but Micah gets the ropes. Micah with the big power slam and the sliding lariat, dude. Like that's her sliding lariat is awesome.
So good.
I think it's only rivaled for at least in the women by Utami.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anu reverses a suplex. Micah goes for suplex, and Anu reverses into the rear naked choke. Micah fights it for a while, then she slams her into the corner. Anu with the boot, but gets tossed over the top and like tumbles to the floor. The referee went out and checked on her. Like, was that rough? Micah lines up on the floor, but ends up getting booted in the face. This is where Anu dumps a water bottle on Micah. Micah then backdrops Anu on the floor and then dumps water on her. Then they proceed to have a water fight. Not very, like, they were just shooting the water, the bottles at each other. It was kind of funny. They brawl on the floor, but they both make it back in at 19. Fisherman suplex by Anu for 2. Then she heads up, but Micah cuts her off and tries to superplex. But Anu tries the sunset bomb, but Micah hangs on. Anu comes back up and hits a run off the top. Then she goes back up, but Micah attacks her on the top, and she gets her superplex, and then a lariat, and they're both down. Again, great sequence here. Like, really good sequence between the two. They brawl at the center, trading strikes and trading boots. Anu gets the enziguri. Micah catches the Rana and applies a Boston Crab, turns it into a single leg crab. But Anu fights and fights and fights, and she gets to the ropes. Lariat on the ropes by Micah, and then the discus lariat, but she only gets a 1 count. Fucking hate the 1 counts at the end of the match. God. It was great when Ospreay and Omega did it, because it wasn't overdone at that point. Anu hits a bridging German, but she only gets 1. Then they boot each other in the face. They both go down. They get up. Micah hits a lariat, gets the judo sweep for 2. Micah starts trying to hit a power bomb, but the time runs out.
Yeah. What a match. What a main event. This was, oof. This was the one I had the most notes for.
Oh yeah.
Anu snubbing the handshake at the beginning pissed me off. I'm already struggling to like her character. That didn't help me. Um, yeah, Micah also, when she took Anu to the outside that first time, hitting that lariat off the apron was just so good. She's so good with those lariats. That axe kick that you mentioned by Anu, that's just so nasty, and that hit hard. That was a thud on Micah's ribs there. That sounded nasty. But Micah's shoulder
Nasty.
blocks.
Nasty.
Nasty. Nigel nasty. Micah's shoulder blocks are just pure power. Like this woman, she's my girl crush. 100%. She can shoulder block me anytime. Anu's big kick on the outside to Micah right before she started doing the water spot was so forceful. She didn't just boot her. She like booted her and forced her down with her foot. It was kind of crazy. She does have that height advantage a little bit on Micah, and her legs are very, very long.
Well, it's like a boot. It was like a boot stomp combo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The water was just disrespectful. I hated that. Like now everyone's wet. People are slipping all over the place. Now you got to try to grab each other and do this ish. But at that point in time, they were going to the time limit. It kind of makes sense that they would take the water break because it probably cooled them down a little bit and helped them go into that finish with a good amount of stamina. The back body drops were crazy. I didn't write down who did them. I'm going to assume Micah.
Well, they both did, but Micah's were fucking the killer.
The near count out when they were doing the water thing. Oh, it must have been Micah doing them on Anu on the outside because this was before they got back in. The count out where they both rolled in, for whatever reason, that really pissed me off. I got really fired up at that point. That was my one count moment where I was like, enough with the near count outs. Just get the frack in the ring when the ref is yelling in your ear to get in the ring. Please. Just do it. Yeah, the superplex was just insane from Micah with the lariat follow-up. She's so good at that. She's so strong. I had so much anxiety when I could hear the ref start screaming about the time and stuff. At that point, I'm just like going feral as a fan. Like, God damn it, just frick that. It was great, though. It was a great way to end the show because this was such a good wrestling match. Such a great example of what Stardom wrestling is.
Yeah, and these two, like so good. It just seemed like they had such good chemistry. They just worked so well together. And I didn't feel like there was a misstep anywhere in this match. It was so good.
It was so good. And this was, I believe, their first encounter as singles.
Yeah. Might be. Mel drinking those what do you call it? It's a craft pop or whatever.
Craft soda.
Craft soda's there.
You have to say it like your Newfie. Craft soda.
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 An American
Saskatoon lemonade.
Yeah, just interesting. I've never heard of a craft soda before, but okay.
Doesn't taste like beer.
We move on to night number 5, August 6th. We kick it off with Oedo Tai's Momo Watanabe and Arena versus Donna Del Mondo's Julia and Tekla. At the end of the match, Rena gets some roll-ups on Julia, and then gets the octopus lock, but Julia reverses into Bianca, which is a modified Rings of Saturn, and she gets the submission of victory.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't the wins.
And again, it had to be either Tekla or Rena taking the pin. So
correct, yeah, that's what makes sense in that one, yeah, for sure.
And Tekla did take the win on the night before, or take the loss on the night before, so I can see why Rena took the pin here.
Yeah,
and
100%.
If you really think about it, in the order of stature, she is technically below Tekla in like stature of champions, in my personal opinion.
Yes, I agree. I would agree.
So yeah, she is the one out of. If you look at this match, you're like, yeah, Rena's taking the pin here.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, so we move on to the six woman tag team match. It is Queen's Quest Hina, Lady C, and Miyu Amasaki. Actually, same team as the day before, taking on stars Koguma, Mayu Iwatani, and Saya Ida. End of the match, Koguma hits the dropkick off the top to Miyu. Then Mayu hits the toss dropkick into the corner onto Miyu. Then Koguma hits the diving body press off the top for the win. And then after the match, Mayu Iwatani is sitting on Lady C at ringside. And you can see Lady C was very unhappy about it. And Mayu's just like, it was just so dumb.
That's what we expect out of Mayu. Mayu Iwatani's all over the place.
Yeah.
This picture of Ida more accurate to how she looks currently, but my goodness, look at how the difference in hair color changes how her face looks.
Really
like,
does.
Holy hecky crap.
Different hair, different styles make your face look different. It really does.
Yeah, she's looking gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
We move on to a tag team match. It's Natsupoi and Yuna Mizumori with the mishmash team of Mariah May and Megan Bayne. This is the first time Bayne has not teamed with with the Suzu Micah May trio.
Oh.
Well, they're in their own tag. They're in their own trios match on this show. So that's why Bayne is teaming with Mariah May here. It was interesting. A really fun match. In the end, May hits the fairy tale ending. Shout out to Tommaso Ciampa. On Natsupoi, well, Bayne hits a power bomb on Yuna Mizumori. Then Bayne picks Yuna up, hits the F5, and gets the win. Again, Yuna Mizumori. Or not Mizumori. Megan Bayne is just a beast, but Yuna Mizumori is insanely awesome and fun to watch.
Oh, yes. The personality and charisma that she has just like radiates off of her. She is a treasure to watch. This picture of Poi is a little terrifying to me. She looks like a porcelain doll.
Well, it's kind of it gives me the vibe of the crazy person she's slowly becoming.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say because I didn't watch this one.
We move on. It's the main event of the undercard. It's Micah, Mei Sarah, and Suzu Suzuki taking on God's Eyes, Ami Sarai, Mirai, and Saki Kashima. Mei takes a lariat on the ropes from Mirai. Then she gets hit with the Green Bay plunge by Ami Sarai. Then Saki hits the top rope stomp, but Mei Sarah kicks out at 2. Saki hits the Angel's Wings. Shout out to Christopher Daniels. Same move as the fairy tale ending. But Micah and Suzu break up the pin. Micah and Suzu take out Ami and Mirai. Micah and Suzu then hit sandwich boots in the ropes to Saki, and Mei hits the rolling star or a snap sunset flip onto Saki for the win.
Mei picking up a win-win. Yay. Good for her. She's such a treasure to watch. So entertaining.
And again, this trio of Micah, Suzu, and Mei Sarah are really making a name for themselves in trios action, which is odd because Micah's teammates are the trio champions. So will we see dissension in Donna Del Mundo? I freaking hope not.
We've been kind of talking about it since the exit of Himika. Will Micah remain with Donna Del Mundo? Will she strike out on her own to kind of do a singles run and remain with DDM? Will she kind of leave and start her own thing? It would appear to me that, she's kind of being left as a third wheeler, fourth wheeler, if you will, to the Artifice Stardom Champions right now. She's kind of found a little bit of a stability with little Mei and Suzu here. I wouldn't be mad about it. But she doesn't necessarily have to leave DDM either to join this team and kind of have a faction together. Because look at Kairi. Was she really a part of Cosmic Angels when she was a part of the Artists of Stardom Champions with Ariana and Natsupoi. I don't really think so. So, you know,
Well, if she ends up taking the titles off her teammates, that's where it all gets weird.
I mean, it's going to sting a little, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think cooler heads can prevail. Julia's a very smart and savvy businesswoman and champion. I think she knows that Micah deserves more than what it is that she currently has. I think that she'd be more proud of her than anything that she's actually taken herself and elevated herself. You would want that within something, a faction known as the Women of the World, right?
Mm-hmm. So we move on. It's the Blue Stars, Hanan versus Mina Shirakawa. It's Hanan hits the drop kick before the bell, goes on the attack with the running strikes at elbows, gets the early 2 count. Hanan gets the body attack in the ropes, that running where she just like runs into the ropes and lands on the person. It's not really a knee, it's just like a body attack. And gets the pin for 2 before transitioning into a modified Rings of Saturn with the leg over the face, but Mina does eventually get to the ropes. Hanan comes off the top, or off this like a springboard dive out of the corner. Mina just like doesn't Samoa Joe it, but she kind of just dives out of the way and just lets Hanan go crashing to the mat, and I loved it. But she goes to get on the offensive with Hanan, but Hanan rolls her up for 2. But then Mina gets the drop kick to the knee, starts working over the knee, gets the figure 4, but Hanan does get to the ropes. Hanan catches Mina running and gets a release fall-away slam, then the judo toss and the Northern Light suplex for 2. Then she hits the running famouser for 2. Excuse me. Mina gets the rolling elbow, then goes back to working the knee, but Hanan gets a DDT on a dragon screw attempt and hits the bridging fall-away slam for 2, then a backdrop driver for 2. Mina rolls Hanan through and hits a dragon screw, then a figure 4 dragon screw out of the ropes, where like Hanan was on the ropes and she figure 4'd her and then hit the dragon screw. I really love that variation of it. Of the ropes, then reapplies the figure 4, and Hanan struggles, but Mina keeps rolling her back to the center, and she struggles. Mina then bridges up, applying more pressure, and Hanan taps out.
This one was fun. Very fun. We almost saw a wardrobe malfunction I was concerned about. But yeah, this was fun.
Didn't see I missed it. What happened?
The neck piece.
Oh,
Mina snapped off, and I didn't realize how many straps there were, and I was like, oh no, keep Booby-san's boobies in. Yeah, the neck also got tweaked at some point by Mina from all of those drops on her head. Yeah, struggling a little bit towards the end of the match there, but recovering very nicely to bridge up for that figure 4. I felt this was a really, really great match for both of these ladies, especially Hanan. I felt that she had a really, really good showing in this one. But Mina, obviously, just too experienced, too good. I mean, one half of the Goddess of Stardom champions.
Former Wonder of Stardom champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Very fun match. We move on. It's still within the Blue Stars. It's Ariana versus Azumi. They each have the wrong, like each put their left hand up, going for a test of strength, and nobody can do it. So Azumi just stomps the foot, and they start exchanging holds. Then we get into the high speed of it all. Azumi gets the camel clutch, is raking at the eyes and the nose and everything. Then she hits a hard PK, but only gets 2. But transitions into the Fujiwara armbar, but Anu gets to the ropes. Anu hits a boot, and then it hits a boot in the ropes, but she can't get the suplex. Anu goes up, but Azumi arm drags her off the top. Azumi hits a top rope stomp, but can only get 2. Leg trap German by Azumi, but then Anu pops back up, hits her own German. Both ladies are down. They trade a series of pinfalls. Azumi gets like just like she rolls through and just hops like very Francisco Acura, where she rolled through and then just hopped up and stomped the crap out of say
Yes.
Ariana. Very good. And then gets her Azumi Sushi for 2. Azumi gets La Mahi Straw and the Buzzsaw Kick, but only gets 1. Bridging German by say Ariana, but only gets 1. Another bridging German is hit by Anu, but this time she gets 2. Azumi fights back, gets the roundhouse kick, hits a Canadian destroyer, gets the Azumi Sushi, and gets the win.
Yes. This was
Das
a
Queen.
fun match.
Oh god, yeah. Like super fast, super technical all at the same time. I loved it.
Yeah. And it was interesting to see how, like, because I felt that we hadn't seen Anu really work a true high speed match up until this point. She had been like kind of in and out with other various people with like the Artists of Stardom challenges that she faced, but I don't feel like she faced someone like Azumi in a one-on-one match in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Azumi pulling out a ton of her submissions though in this one. I felt that Azumi, instead of just choosing the high speed thing, she kind of tried to ground Anu a little bit, whereas Anu kind of tried to flex a little bit of that height and power on Azumi. Both of them working very, very smart in this match. Like both of them just trying to target the others, what they would perceive as weaknesses, I think, or flaws. And I really, really enjoyed the technical aspect as a result. I really love that pin that Azumi does. I was actually pretty shocked about this. I thought that Azumi was going to take the loss on this one. To see Anu take the loss on this one after, talking a big game after her match with Micah the night before, I was kind of like, oh, do we really want you challenging for the red belt yet, though? Maybe
Not yet. That's
no,
your teammate.
no.
On top of it all, that's your teammate in Tam Nakano. So, no.
I mean, but if what Micah said happens and she wins the Grand Prix and then she defeats Tam Nakano and she chooses Sayoriano as her first challenge, which is what she said in the speech
That's what,
afterwards. Yeah. Do we want that? Maybe consider your life choices.
Maybe. We move over to the Red Stars division. It's Suri versus Natsuko Tara. This is her second match, but she already has 4 points because, again, she won the forfeit against Sayaka Mitani.
Correct.
Tora is just badass AF, or badass as Frazier, in that entrance gear.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%. It reminded me of like a dragon monk or warrior or something like that. It just gave me dragon vibes. I loved it. I love it on her.
Oh, yeah. It looked absolutely tremendous.
So good.
Really good wrestling and transitions to start from the ladies early on. Saturi, as I wrote, got an arm drag. I don't know why I wrote it that way. Got an arm drag, applies the arm bar, but Tora got to the ropes with a sense of urgency. Like she was just just racing those ropes. Mm-hmm. Tora blocks that PK on the apron with a chair. Suri kicked a chair. Then she ends up tossing Suri into the chairs 3 different times. Chokes her in the seats with a fan's umbrella. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Senton back in the ring by Tora. Then she applies the stretch. She gets a 2 count. Then she applies the stretch muffler, but Suri does get to the ropes. Mm-hmm. Head scissors and the wheelbarrow bulldog by Suri for 2. Then
I was right. I thought that's what that was, and that's how I wrote it down, and I was right.
The wheelbarrow bulldog?
Yeah, I'm getting better at this. You're a good teacher, sir.
She's learning.
You can teach an old bitch new tricks.
Oh, I did not say that.
No, I did.
I did not imply that either. So great forearm exchange in the center, and Suri throws the kick, dropping Tora. Suri hits a German, but Tora gets the cradle shock, and both women are down, or the Miramari shock. Yeah. Lariat and the corner ball, as I like to call it, by Natsuko Tora. And then she gets the second rope frog splash for 2. Suri stops the another cradle shock, and she hits a backstabber and kicks and hits the kicks for 2. Then she reapplies the armbar, then into the disarmer, then into that hammerlock armbar that she does.
Mm-hmm.
I have the name of the move somewhere. I just can't remember what the heck the name of that move is. Shit.
I'm pretty sure if we have her on Strong Spirits, we can find out on Strong Spirits.
That is probably very true.
Do you have her?
But I do. I just haven't looked because I'm weird like that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember what that's called. I know she has a
the ground Suzaku.
There you go.
I literally said it when I was talking about her other match. I just have to go look for it. She gets the ground Suzaku, but Tora fights and eventually does get to the ropes. Suri gets the top rope green killer, but Tora catches the roundhouse kick and hits a power bomb, and then the FU for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Tora misses the swanton, and Suri hits a code breaker, but Tora gets a lariat, and Suri hits a roundhouse kick for 2. Suri gets cut off up top. They brawl, but Suri gets the sunset powerbomb off the top for 2, then heads back up, but Tora pushes the ref out to the floor. She sprays the miss in Suri's face, then hits the cradle shock off the top, and then for 2, she goes up, hits the swanton, and gets the win. Post-match, Tora does say, "It's been a long time since God's Eye was strong." Yeah, long time since God's Eye was strong. I think I can really win the Red Stars if I can knock off Suri. Get out, and she's like kicking at Suri, yelling, "Get out of my ring." Next up is Starlight Kid. "Are you watching, kid? How are you going to beat me? I'm looking forward to Osaka. Looking forward to watching you run wild." Love it.
Mm-hmm. Let's just get the one thing out of the way, aesthetically speaking, with Tora. Look at her shoulders. Those things are coming in. Her gear was so loose in this. Like her top was so loose. I thought at one point it was just going to go up over her head. It was so loose. She's looking great. And her new makeup, did you notice she's kind of added a little bit of eye makeup to her face there with the white kind of underneath, and then the black also kind of.
And then the white fucking eyes that she has.
Yeah, it makes her eyes look so much larger. It's a very, very doll-like effect that a lot of people like to do on the internet, and especially TikTok right now. I thought it looks tremendous on her. Just the style evolution that Natsuko Tora seems to be on a constant journey of is almost comparable. I wouldn't say in the same extreme to, but in a very similar manner to Julia, where she's constantly evolving, changing things up, adding little bits and bobs here. I really, really like how she's coming along. I think she has a chance. I mean, she knocked off Suri. She has a chance to take this tournament. I'm kind of living for it. I love it. This was a great match. Okay. You said literally everything. Everything that I mentioned move-wise. Except
the wheelbarrow bulldog.
Yeah, that I actually knew. The kicks that Suri was doing when she was kicking Tora, I noticed something that I don't think I've never noticed before, which is that Tora was actually crying out. She was actually like screaming in pain. The only other person that I recall ever seeing get her to do that was you. Not you, but you. You know you. You. The current co-holder of one of those ice ribbon championships with Chihiro right now.
I'm just joking. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, only other person I've ever seen make Tora actually cry out in pain. But yeah, what a match, and what a way to end the night with Natsuko Tora gloating. I loved it. It was so great.
well, not end of the night, but end that match.
Yes, right, in that match.
It was really good.
It was the end of the night for me.
Yeah, because Mel didn't watch the following match, which was absolutely incredible. So we get Hazuki versus Tam Nakano. I can't believe you missed this. I don't know how you missed this.
Priorities, man. I needed to get out of the house. Tomato, tomato. There's what it is. Take it away.
Hazuki gets Tam into the ropes, gets a roll through into a drop kick, series of reversals by Tam. Tam hits a beautiful cutter and then gets a cartwheel double kick to the back. Really good to it down Hazuki. Great strike exchange. Haz hits the half Nelson slam and hits a senton, then gets the boot wash and the running boot and the ropes for 2. Then she transitions it into the crosses, but Tam does get to the ropes. Second rope drop kick and the tornado DDT by Hazuki for 2. Then Hazuki goes to the top, but Tam cuts her off. They fight up top. Haz kicks her off, but Tam ends up coming back and kicking Haz off the top, and she goes tumbling to the floor. Tam hits the high cross off the top to the floor, then hits a running knee in the ropes when they're back in the ring, and hits a German suplex into the bridge for 2. They're trading boots and kicks and strikes, and Hazuki gets a suplex, and both ladies are laid out. Running boots by Hazuki, and then a green killer, followed by another drop kick for 2, then transitions into the crossface. Then she rolls it back to center. Then she reapplies it into a Rings of Saturn. But Tam does eventually get to the ropes. Again, really, really great mat and technical work by Hazuki. This girl is absolutely tremendous. Scoop slam by Hazuki and gets the second rope senton. Then the top rope senton, but she can only get 2. Tam reverses the suplex into the tiger suplex, then hits the road to Valhalla or the glam slam or the jaded, however you want to call it, but only gets 2. She goes for the violet screwdriver, but she gets turned into a pin. But then Tam gets out. She hits 3 running knees to the head, then hits the violet screwdriver, and she gets the win. Absolutely incredible match from these two. I think they did such good work together.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me one bit. Both of them are extremely talented and experienced workers. And Tam Nakano, the red belt champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would be very upset if she would have a bad match. But Hazuki, man. She still got that old music.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a great fan of the new music, but I wanted the old one back. But beggars can't be choosers.
We could. We could sure try. I obviously can't contribute to this one because I decided to go to Walmart.
All right, I'm bringing up the card here. I'm going to go through it. We have Tam Nakano and Natsupoi with 4. You have Natsuka Tora with 6 in the red block. Then you have Mayu Iwatani, Suri, and Suzu Suzuki with 2 points. And then you have Starlight Kid, Ami Sarai, Sayaka Kamatani, and Hazuki all with 0. In the Blue Stars, you have at 4 points, you have Mirai, Mina Shirakawa, and Saori Anu. Then at 3 points, you have Micah and Julia. At 2, you have Utami Hayashishida, Azumi, Mariah May, and Momo Watanabe. And sadly, alone with 0 points is Hanan.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a bone to pick with this. If you look at the side before the points, shows how many matches each person has wrestled, their wins or losses and things.
Yes.
Ami Sarai has had 1 total match. Same with Mayu Iwatani, 1 total match. Also Utami and Shishida, 1 total match. Same with Momo Watanabe, 1 total match. Hanan has had 4. Saori Anu has had 4 matches. Mirai has had 4 matches. I don't like the setup. I had the same problem last year with the G1.
Hmm.
Meh. I hate it.
They clearly hired the wrong person for the job on that, the scheduling on that one. Um, yeah, because it like we also have our reasons to think that. But that being said, Julia hasn't had 4 matches yet, has she?
Julia is at 2 matches, 1 win, 1 draw, and from what
Utami's
I've
only
got,
had one, hasn't she?
yeah, and from what I've gathered, Julia's not going to be there on the weekend of the 18th, 19th, 20th shows because she's
Mhm.
not scheduled for any 3 days, and there happens to be an Impact show, Multiverse United, where there's some New Japan stuff going on there, and she does have the New Japan Strong title, so there is a possibility she's going to be there, and she's not scheduled for anything that weekend in Japan. So there is a high chance we get Julia in America that weekend, and we still only have 2 matches from her. I am very confused by this.
Yeah, I am as well. And I agree in your sentiment that I'm not particularly a fan of it. Why are we overwhelming some wrestlers and underwhelming some other ones? Because then, Utami's only wrestled one. What are we going to do? Have her wrestle like every single freaking night? One of these
Again,
matches up until the end there? Like,
again, I understand this is a just over 2 month long tournament. So
mm-hmm,
again, it's not like girls are gonna be wrestling 3-4 nights in a row, but like Hanan has been. She's out of the 5 nights we've had, Hanan has wrestled on 4 of them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is very true. Yeah, I don't really like that. It's a very odd kind of setup. I'm sure they have their reasoning, and I'm sure they'll make it make sense at some point, or at least I hope so, and without injuring anybody in the process, which Stardom and NJPW usually are pretty good for.
Oh, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
But we have come to an end of this show, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is one of the shortest shows we've done in a while. So
Yeah.
we're coming up on an hour, so we're going to try to get through this fast. You can find this guy on, I should bring up my actual one. You can find me on X, Twitter, Mastodon, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Hive at That Canada Guy, Instagram and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also find me over on OLE every once in a blue moon. I pop up doing random shows here and there. I talk stuff. There might be a possibility that myself, Melball, and a couple friends of ours might be showing up on OLE on the 20th with some kind of thing. We don't know yet, but there might be something happening that day. Situation. Yeah. The situation. I'm the situation. Not the situation. That guy's a douchebag. But yeah. You can find us over there find me over there on Oli every once in a blue moon where I pop and do random stuff. You can check out my reactions to all the episodes of Secret Invasion over there, Marvel Talk over there on OLE. You can check that out. Me and my boy old Ed, check that out, please, ladies and gentlemen. And then please, you might be watching us right now on Backbreaker Video. If you're not, go over to youtube.com/@Backbreaker Video for all the great wrestling content that our boy Mike the Ref puts out. And you can and simulcasting us, Astrid stuff, lots of great content going on over there. You can also find his live gaming content at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And every Wednesday, just like tonight, he does a watch along for AEW. Check that out. If you want to see any replays of his great gaming content, go to youtube.com/@Backbreaker_gaming. You can find stuff from Mike, Mr. PJC, who's back in the airways doing gaming content. You've got the wonderful Rick Jules, my boy. And then their awesome guest every now and again, Miss Kayla J.
Kayla J. Love Kayla J.
And Melba, where can they find you, madame?
If you're wanting to follow Melball, you can follow her on the X thingy majiggy Collins Melball. You can follow her on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Mastodon, and Blue Sky, and Melball Collins. You can also find me on our local establishment's programming, Paramindful, up there. We just released a video about aliens. You should come check out what we think about that weird stuff, along with Alex the Werewolf and the Gold Standard, Caro Carufal. You can also find me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel with our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. That goes on every other Friday, and we just released an episode talking about the Lufisto tweet and the AEW Women's Locker Room. So you want to go check that out. You can find that on Good Pods also. What else? If you're wanting to watch Stardom, we will leave a link in the description box down below. It is stardom-world.com because Andre gave me a banner now. Yay, I can't fuck it up.
Yes. I'm getting better at my job.
You're always good at your job, my friend. The price is 999 yen, approximately $7.15. But we're doing 10 because we love Sean Spears. Where is he anyway? Has he come back in a little bit?
He was on Collision from Calgary. That was it. Challenging the Luchasaurus. He needs to come back
the
to
match
Edmonton.
That was supposed to happen at PWA. Anyway,
he needs to come back to Edmonton and defend that PWA title at Love Wrestling.
What's a PWA?
It's an old champ.
Rhetorical question. That being said, everyone, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Mwah!